G'day, I'm Paul. Have you ever wondered why prototype cars are full of camouflage and random stickers? Well, I hope so, because we've just produced a video explaining what it all means. And today, I'm going to take you through some of the hidden details behind a pre-production car before it is finally ready for the public to see and before it is ready to go on sale. A little while back, I was able to join Ford on a development drive for the new Ranger, Raptor, and Everest. And during that time, I got a bit of a behind the scenes look at a new Ranger that is full of some interesting pre-production stuff. Now, before we get started on the video, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you subscribe to our channel, press the bell icon, because that's going to tell you every single time we publish one of these videos. Why do the cars look like this, and what are some of the unique features you get on a prototype? And if we come in a little closer, I'll start over here with the headlights. You can see obviously this is a Velcro type thing across the headlights, and that's simply to cover up the headlights so you can't see the exact contour of them. But then when this is back on the car, the headlights still need to be able to work, the indicators and all that kind of stuff. So the guys constantly need to keep an eye on this to make sure that they don't run into any dramas there with this flapping around in the wind and covering up the headlights, because it still has to be a road legal vehicle. And then if you come around over to this side, you'll see all of these yellow cables. These are all thermocouples. So running through the length of the car, these are connected to various things such as your engine. You've got some connected to the spare battery. It really is just to keep a very close eye on what's going on with the car. These things are really important to the whole engineering process, and it gives the guys a really good understanding of what's going on beneath the skin and exactly how the car's performing. Another curious one as well, it's a little hard to see, but around the side of the car, if you want to come around here, around the side of the car, the contours here are all kind of fake because they're full of padding. Beneath there, you can see there's a padding that basically prevents you from seeing the exact angles here. And on something like the Raptor, which has big, beefy wheel arches, you don't really want people seeing that until the car's ready to be revealed. So that's the whole purpose of that. The car's then covered in a stack of different stickers that help Ford identify this car in their fleet, the engine that's fitted to it, but they obviously don't mean anything to the average consumer. Now let's jump inside, because there's some really cool things in the cabin as well that I want to run you through. Righto, so we're inside the cabin. I guess it's kind of obvious, but I'll explain it anyway. All of this is so that you can't see the interior. And up until, I guess, we exposed it, there was no idea that Ford had a really big screen in here. So these covers stop the public from being able to see this. And part of the protocol is to basically make sure the interior is covered whenever the car's out in public. And if I lift these out of the way, you can see why. You've got this huge screen in the center here, which is kind of a game changer for Ford, and they don't want their competitors seeing this until the car's ready to go. And in addition to that, with these prototypes, you can see some of these materials aren't finished, and these are just so the car can get to the stage where it's ready to be assembled and test driven, but these all come later down the track. So for example, the Everest that we're in at the moment, you actually have the open pore wood and some of the finished features there. It's slightly more progressed than this vehicle. A couple of curious things here as well. So obviously you've got a transmission tunnel cover there as well, but you've got this. This is kind of like an ejector seat button, but what it actually does is if the car has any curious problems or something goes wrong, they're able to give that one hit and it'll start logging prior to that event, so that they can have a look at the logs later, see what's happened with the car and get a better understanding of what needs to be fixed. There's a couple of other features here as well that I'm going to get one of the engineers to run us through now as well, which is the emergency stop button, plus a feature that allows them to record notes in the infotainment system. So I thought to explain exactly how all this stuff works, we have Tim Postgate, who's part of the development program for this car, but also an off-road expert. Tim, do you want to just run us through what happens if someone pushes that and why you would ever push that?
Okay, so this vehicle is obviously a prototype and not production software and safety systems. So we have the emergency stop switch here, which disconnects power from the engine control unit and a couple of other modules on the car so that it fails safe. So if anything untoward happened, we're all trained, we can hit that. You still have steering, brakes and everything, but it cuts the power to the engine, basically.
And then it logs data so you know what to look for later on, is that right?
That's right. It collects a snapshot as you shut the vehicle down. However, we have a couple of other data logging devices on the vehicle. The first one is a data logger that we run with the car all the time, and we have what looks like a nasty thing, a button to press. So when we find an issue that we want to make note of, we press that. There's a couple of beeps from the data logger, and that records 30 seconds before and a minute afterwards. It's configurable as well. And and that gets uploaded to the cloud as soon as there's reception.
Yeah,
so it has
awesome.
a large storage device, and then it uploads as soon as we get back to
sweet.
reception.
So the other cool feature of the infotainment system, and this is something that I understand won't make it to production cars, but it gives you guys a chance to log things using your voice so you can better explain things. Do you want to just demo how that works and when you would actually use this?
Sure. So on the centre stack here with the sync screen, we have a button at the top, and all we have to do, if there's some issue or observation that we want to make note of, press and hold the button until it changes to this screen, about 10 seconds.
Yeah, cool.
And then we get the option to record. And as soon as we press record, we can say, this is Tim Postgate, I'm in this vehicle on this day. We've observed that there's a pop-up that comes up and it stays on too long. This is a test, no action please.
Yeah,
And I've said that because that's logged.
Yep.
That's gone up to
Someone's
the cloud,
gonna check
and
it.
someone back at base will see it and listen to it.
Wow, so it really is, when it comes to these development cars, it's all about data and getting as much as you can so that you can then refine it and make changes to the car as required sort of down the track.
Yeah, that's right. It helps us with the development process, tracking issues. Obviously, we're looking for efficiency, and so the more feedback from each test that we do that we can get, the feedback from the sync screen can go straight to the sync team, even though nobody from the sync team is on this trip.
Yep.
And likewise, the powertrain guys, they can get some actual recorded data instead of us just trying to describe what was happening at the time.
Fantastic, awesome.
So there you go, that was interesting, wasn't it? I actually learned a lot of stuff here about how they engineer these cars, and being an engineer myself, I thought it was quite fascinating. So let me know in the comments section below, is there anything else you want to know? I can probably ask some questions of the Forward engineers to give you a bit more of a sneak peek into what happens. Now, we have shot a stack of other videos on next generation Ranger, Raptor and Everest, so if you do want to check those out, scroll down to the description where you'll find links to the rest of our content. If you did enjoy this video today, please make sure you like it and share it with your mates, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon. But until next time, take it easy.